The water capital,
Robert?
yes.
I just want to add that if we decided that we're going to do the $2.4 million worth of projects that are listed in the previous page, then our balance will be $2.8 million. Is that correct?
I believe
It's
that.
It's actually a little different, I think, Jeannie, because, are you talking about the general capital fund?
Yeah,
I was going to
over
ask the same question. If you see the math here, he's already included the 850.
Yeah, that would be.
So I think all you would do is take 1.6 off of this? That was my question as well.
That is correct.
So if we approve
It would be
all of-
2.8, yes.
it-
That would
That
be
was my-
$2.8.
that
You and I
was-
discussed that
That's why,
exact
that's
number.
why I
okay,
wanted to
gotcha.
add
That was my question,
I just want to
too.
make that point.
Good.
And the last two funds, you see the water capital, where we have a million, essentially $1.2 million of available funds. You will be asked to amend Ordinance 40-2008 in the amount of $65,000 on Monday, March 9th. The budget transfer for 2009 is $300,000. I will be, in future budgets, I will be recommending above and beyond that. We'll have the financial capacity to do that with a rate increase. So we essentially have $1.4 million in unencumbered funds in the water utility. And lastly, the Open Space Trust, with the balance at the end of the year with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 encumbrances plus the assessment at 2 cents for 2009, essentially 1.2 million in funds for a total of 8.6 million. That concludes what I want to address.
Jean?
Yes. And Robert, the items listed here does not, your plan here does not include the potential of $2 million worth of improvements, capital improvements from the joint meeting.
That is correct.
Okay.
Robert, a couple of quick questions. Previously, you referenced the $3 million of road work carried over from '08.
Road and sewers.
$3 million for road, 1.5 for sewers?
No, I believe it's about 1.6 for roads and
And
1.5.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And how is that reflected on your schedule of unencumbered capital funds? That's already been deducted from your top line on the general capital improvement fund?
Those funds were fully bonded.
Although that was the bond?
Those were bonding.
Okay. Second,
By the way, Council, each of these numbers with the balances, you can trace directly back to the unaudited financial statements. So there's an audit trail here.
refresh my recollection as to ordinances 3-2009 and 7-2009. What did we appropriate for 135 already? 135 already?
50,000 for 3 emergencies that occurred at the end of the year with regards to sewers.
Yep. Okay.
And then 84,000 for site work at 22 Orchard.
Okay. I guess third, if I understand your footnote to the Open Space Trust Fund, debt service will effectively exhaust the annual contribution from tax collection. So
At
that,
two
you know,
cent- at 2
at 2
cents
cents per hundred.
on 2.1 billion in assessed valuation.
All right. Okay. Recognizing there are 3 different variables in that statement you just made. But as the facts are known to us today, that going forward, the operating assumption would be that the $421,000 of new money for the open space fund would be, could be allocated to debt service with a little more needed to cover all of that debt service.
Yes.
Thanks. I think that's it for the moment. Thank you.
Any more questions?
Yes. On the, on that open space trust, where it has the MRC, the GM fence for 49,000, was that already been, have we done anything about that, or?
We held back on the blanket order, right?
Yes, we did. There was a possibility, with your help, Doctor, of identifying an alternate vendor. So the appropriation ordinance has been approved, the purchase order was held, and we received the alternate quote today, and we're verifying whether it's apples to apples with the prior quote. The new quote is significantly less, and if it's the same quality, we would recommend rescinding the award to the prior vendor and issue a new award to the vendor. We just have to follow the law to make sure we do that right. But in the interim, it's status quo. The funds are in place, we just haven't awarded to the other vendor. If we can save some money, we will, if we can get a comparable product.
Anyone else? All right. How would you like to proceed, Ray? Would you like to go for
Bob
department?
Vogel is here and has a music concert to get to, so I'd like to call on the borough.
Oh, shoot, I was a little worried there.
He'd like to be.
Auditioning for American Idol?
I'd like to have Bob come up and maybe walk through the road reconstruction, how we establish what priorities in terms of his list and work his way down. And then Mike Piano is here, obviously, to talk about the electric utility. Police, fire, public works are really not asking for anything, so these are our two departments that we're going to be investing or recommending investments in moving forward.
Good evening, everyone. As you can see on the road reconstruction budget, capital budget for 2009, the number of dollars requested for a number of fairly deserving road reconstruction projects was initially totaling $4.4 million. After a month and a half of discussion, trying to prioritize and cut back, we are currently down to a recommended budget of $1.6 million, which includes only 2 road reconstruction projects. Those were projects are South Street, which through the water main replacement process last year, the gas main replacement process last year, its general age and condition of curbs, sidewalks, and road surfaces really becomes the critical road to accomplish via reconstruction this year. Of the list of 10 or 12 that are there, it is the most needy of all the roads in terms of its surface conditions. Usually we don't get to this place, but when the utility patches that are in the road comprise the best pavement that are on the road, you know it's time to reconstruct the road. And unfortunately, South Street has reached that point and really deserves to be highest on our priority list for reconstruction this year. The close second is a Woodland Road reconstruction project, which has been on our plate for a good long time. We have received a $200,000 grant from the state through municipal aid to complete that project, which in my mind makes it a higher priority to accomplish. There are drainage improvements that have been needed for a good many years on Woodland Road. Curbing will help direct the drainage throughout the section of road that we're talking about. There are crosswalks at Sampson Avenue, improvements at the Sampson Avenue intersection, which are part of this. And it really ties together a number of other road projects that are being carried forward from last year, specifically the Delwood area, which I met with Cefelli this morning on. And we expect Cefelli to start that $2 million contract, which was awarded in the latter part of 2008 on March 17th, or the 16th, I believe, is the Monday.